So disappointing game. Again, credit to Northern Kentucky. Darren Horn and his staff do such a great job. They've been kind of rattled by injuries or riddled with injuries all year long, and they continue to find a way to fight. And we didn't have a very good fight tonight, and so that was why the game got to where it got. I thought 19-13 at the under 8-minute media timeout in the first half. I thought we were kind of competing a little bit, even though the offense wasn't going great for us. Thought we had some good looks early that we did not make, and then. Unfortunately, what's been a little bit of the story of us, and it's my fault entirely, is, as soon as sometimes the offense isn't flowing, then all of a sudden our defensive effort takes a little bit of a dive, and that's kind of how the end of the first half finished. And then we weren't able really to recover in that second half. So disappointed in our efforts tonight. Obviously the time is dwindling, and so we've got to try and use any amount of time we have left to respect the game and play it the right way.
The 0-7 start from the field, and then, as you mentioned, the end of the first half where TJ missed that shot, didn't even touch the rim. Did that kind of spell out how your shooting performance was going to go tonight?
Yeah, I mean, their zone is a challenging one, and we just didn't seem very comfortable in the first half with our attack of it. We couldn't really create any advantage. Any of our guards couldn't really create enough advantage off the dribble, and then we weren't able to really look down the court. There was times we had some guys that were wide open under the basket. We didn't see them, and if you can get a couple of those layups, right, and they do a good job of being so active on the perimeter, and sometimes the guy that's open doesn't know he's open, and then sometimes when you're guarded, you think you're open and somebody else is wide open, right? So you got to be poised, you got to have some IQ, and we just didn't have any of that in the first half. The second half, I thought we did a better job of attacking it. But again, at that point in time, it was a little too late.
The 23 first half points is the same output you had at NKU, the second lowest on the season. What was the message in the locker room? It seemed like you guys were in there a little bit longer than normal.
Yeah, just a lack of pride was the message.
Andy, just over the last 5 games, has there been anything as far as consistent themes that you've been noticing night in, night out, game in, game out, that have kind of contributed to just not being able to get the results you wanted?
Yeah, poor starts certainly been a part of that. Not able to guard the ball certainly been a part of that, and just the feeling that maybe there's options that they have to be able to do what's necessary in order at the level of execution, the level of competition. Because I felt like, obviously at Youngstown, I don't think we really were, connected and competing at the level we needed to. Wright State was a no-show. Here against Oakland, didn't think we had that same fight. Cleveland State in the second half, we certainly had the fight, but we were down 11 at the half, so it makes it, harder to come back. And then tonight, same thing. Things got a little bit hard, and no one really stepping up to rally everybody together to say hey, come on, let's keep fighting. It's a 6-point game. Who cares what the final score is as long as you have one more point, right? If the final score ends up being 23-22 and you win by 1, great. Who cares? I don't know if we feel like we have to get style points or we got to try to score in the 70s or 80s in order to make ourselves feel like we're accomplished. With really good teams, they don't care. They just want to win. And as soon as some things don't always go right for us on offense, that kind of affects our defense.
Warwick with 28 tonight. I think he had 25 against you guys back in November. Just in particular tonight, just what makes him so difficult to contain?
I mean, he can score every which way, whether it's from the 3-point line, getting to the free throw line, getting to the rim, mid-range stuff. He's the all-time leading scorer in their school history. So, 2,000 points in his 4 years is an impressive mark. He's given us fits since his freshman year. So, you try to do some things to disrupt him a little bit, but he's a hard guy to disrupt. And then the crazy part is we actually have breakdowns on him where it's we got to be on high alert against him. And there's times that we have breakdowns on him and we leave him open, and he's too good when you leave him open. So really, really good player, really great scorer. And that's why he's had the career that he's had.
Coach, you mentioned earlier that you didn't feel that you guys were necessarily comfortable against their zone. Is that what you would attribute to the high turnover numbers today?
I mean, we just threw the ball to them on so many occasions. It's you're taking guys out of the game and saying, what did you see right there? You literally just threw the ball to the opponent. So if that's not the definition of discomfort, I don't know what is. And I'm sure as we go back and watch, like, there's probably an effective way for the ball to be able to get where it needed to get to, that we weren't able to accomplish.
Whatever you may have said at halftime, do you think that resonated with any of the guys? Was there much of a change?
You'd have to ask them. I don't know if much of what I say resonates with anybody. So you'd have to ask them.
Andy, just quick turnaround here. One more game before the conference tournament. Just what are you hoping to see change-wise, just heading into this final game?
I'm not sure right now. I think we're hoping to see some progress. Sometimes I feel like we've made progress, and then there's other times I feel like we're still talking about the things that we were talking about, in September. And it's a frustrating thing from a coaching perspective, because I think you pride yourself on the ability to teach, and your ability to improve, and your ability to make adjustments, and your ability to see some of that progress. And we're still talking about some of the same themes and some of the same mistakes. It's like, make a new mistake. Make a new one. If you make a new one, then we can figure out how to correct that one. But how are we still making some of the same mistakes that we're making? And that's a frustration for a group of coaches, I think, that pride themselves on being able to instruct and being able to help guys grow. And we'll see some of it in practice at times where you see some of the good, and it's like, okay, let's just go do that in the game. And we haven't been able to seemingly do that for extended periods here in this last couple weeks.